All right, welcome to another segment of the Etnyre video library. In this video, we're going to talk about lighting of the diesel burners. We have to make a couple pre-checks before we ever light the burners. One is, please check your washout tank. That's where your diesel burners come from or draw their fuel from. So this tank will either be on the passenger side on most units, or on new units it will be on the driver's side. Make sure that it's filled with #1 diesel fuel, or #2 diesel fuel is fine, but biodiesel fuels don't work the best in these burners. B20 will not work. B5 is about the maximum of the bio that we can run through our burners. After we've checked to make sure we have diesel fuel in our washout tank for our burners to actually work, we then want to make sure we have enough material in our tank to safely light our burners. Every distributor comes with a tag that will show how many gallons it will take to light the lower burner, how many gallons it will take to light the upper burner. These are reference numbers to be able to give us 6 inches of material above the heating tubes. This tag may be located inside this toolbox. On some units it may be located on the back side or outside of the toolbox. But we want to make sure that before we light our burners that we have enough material to absorb the heat. We also include a safety instructions tag on the inside of the toolbox door. Basically, it's telling you to read the manual to understand the operation and safety of the burners. Make sure that we have at least 6 inches of material so we can heat. Make sure we're circulating in the tank while our burners are running, and explains how to shut off. But please go back and reference if you have any questions. Your operations manual will give you detailed instructions on lighting the burners. Okay, to open your dampers on your smokestacks, you have an upper burner and a lower burner. And the dampers are nothing more than a disc that covers the end of the tube. So we have them in a locked position right now. So you need to unlock them, and that just unlocked. In order to actually open the dampers, you need to pull them open. So if you're going to use both burners, pull them open. Doesn't matter where this handle's at that point, as long as it's extended. Once we filled our tank full of diesel fuel, we've checked to make sure we have enough product in our tank to light our burners. We've opened our smokestack or our dampers on our smokestacks. Now we're able to go ahead and light our burners. So what we need to do is go from our main screen that comes on when you power the unit up, and we'll need to select over to our target temperature setting. So just look at the little black box, use your select switch, go through the screens until our black box is next to the TGT, which stands for target temperature. Every time you cycle the power, it's going to come back to 95 degrees, which is the set point. The other temperature reading is actually the temperature of the material in the tank. So currently our burners would light because 95 is higher than the 73 or 68, whatever that's flashing. So now if I lit my burners, they would shut off at 95 degrees when those two numbers equal out. But 95 is normally too low for any asphalt, so we want to take our value switch now and go up to what we want our temperature of our product to be. So if we take that up to 170 for an example, now when we light our burners will burn until the temperature of the product reaches 170 degrees. At that point, they will automatically shut off. Another thing to remember about heating asphalt, we're basically throwing fire down a big steel U-shaped tube. So you will gain about 10 degrees more after you shut your burners off. So if you really want 170 for your temperature of your product, you might want to set this down to about 160. Now, once I shut my burners off, the heat will still transfer from the tubes and bring it up to your 170. This will always cycle back to 95 every time we turn the power off and on. And the reason we do that is that so somebody can't come in here and set this number at, let's say, 500 degrees and you not realize it, and you go ahead and light your burners without checking it, and then you damage your material or have an accident. So every time, every day, you need to come in and set this when you want to run your burners. Now we also, while we're heating, we should be in circulating tank position and run our pump somewhere between 100 and 150 gallons a minute to circulate that material across those hot tubes to be able to get uniform heating throughout the tank. So at this point, we could come over and start our lower burner and our upper burner if we can use it, and our burners will automatically light. To shut them off, you can simply turn the switches off. The fans on the burners will continue to run for about a minute to blow any smoke or soot that has built up in the tubes out. The other way the burners shut off is if they come to the target temperature that has been set, or as a safety feature so you cannot drive down the road with your burners being lit, as soon as you start to move the truck and reach 300 feet per minute, it will shut the burners off for you. So those are the different ways you can shut your burners off. When you're done heating and you've shut your burners off, we want to make sure that we close these again and lock them into position to make sure that we don't get any air circulating as we're driving down the road and cooling your product off. These are the diesel burners supplied on trucks with the option of diesel burners. We offer either LP or diesel, but these are our Wayne diesel burners. We have a cover over the top. Some units may not have this cover, but it is available through our parts department. Helps keep the rain and water off of the burners to help them survive a little bit longer out in the field. There's also air adjustments to be able to give more air to our system. If the burners are burning very dark or sooty smoke, you might have to adjust the air band slightly on each burner in order to clear that smoke up. We would like to see a gray smoke coming out, not a real black, heavy, sooty smoke. In future videos, we'll go over the maintenance, adjustments, and repairs of these burners. As with any piece of equipment, please follow all the safety guidelines in the operations manual and wear the proper personal protection equipment required by your company or the state. We all want to return home safe every night, so be safe out there. You can contact your local dealer or the Etnyre factory to talk to a professional service or parts representative at the information provided on the screen. Thank you and have a good day.